Hello, welcome to day 12 of Reflections of Joy. Last night I introduced you to some ideas that I have about prayer, and tonight I'm going to continue with the same section entitled Take Delight. The first type of prayer that I talk about is called angel numbers. About a year ago, I started noticing recurring numbers like 1111 or 444. I typed, what does it mean if I keep seeing the number 1111 into my favorite search engine, and read more than I wanted to know about numerology. I learned these numbers can have many meanings. I was intrigued by the message behind some of them, but it also felt a little weird, so I abandoned my research and moved on. Day after day, I kept seeing these number sequences, so many that I started to feel like someone was dangling a carrot. Eventually I bit and decided to turn the regular occurrences into an opportunity to talk to God. I consider 1212 or 555 a nudge from Him, a touch letting me know He's thinking about me. Whenever I see the numbers, I stop what I'm doing and talk to my closest friend and confidant. Sometimes it's as simple as, "Hi God, thanks for reaching out. You must have known I was stressed and needed someone to talk to." Other times, when I feel like it's been too long, I'll devote more than a minute or two so I can dive in deeper with a more formal prayer, following acts. More on this in just a second. I love how I feel remembered, like He is a friend reaching out to check in on me, one who wants to know about my day. When I'm alone, I talk out loud, as I'm trying to get myself used to listening to my voice when I pray. Acts prayer. I try to be focused when I'm praying, but most mornings my prayers are interrupted as a feature film being played on basic cable with a lot of commercial breaks. I often end up apologizing repeatedly for my sporadic nature, but breaking my prayer into parts has given me a little bit more structure. I learned about this type of prayer from other participants in my church's Intro to Prayer class. The following was one morning, one prayer, started and stopped 5 or more times. Prayer of adoration. Honor Him. It's easy for me to start my morning prayer the moment I walk outside. I feel closest to God when I'm in nature, and I'm in awe of the littlest things. Oh God, You are so good. I walk for a while, taking it all in. Bumblebees, light bouncing off the water, the details of a shell. Master artist, perfect creator. Prayer of contrition. I ask for forgiveness. As my steps fall into rhythm, it's easy to reflect on my shortcomings. Please forgive me. I know I was wrong yesterday. I interrupted, needing to be right, wanting to be heard. I caused heartache and frustration at a time when I could have offered a listening ear and a place of comfort. Prayer of thanks. Acknowledge the good in your life. I have many opportunities on any given day to give thanks, starting with the moment I wake up. As a sensory person, I'm highly aware of sights, smells, sounds, and their absence. I try to offer gratitude when something strikes me as a gift or a prayer. Yesterday, I experienced the most incredible morning after a night of unsettled sleep. I had to make a difficult decision, and I was thankful to walk onto an empty beach rather than one full of seashells, like the day before. Thank You for this morning. Thank You for the beach that's been washed clean of distraction. Thank You for the sunrise that causes me to pause, taking in the rolling waves. They remind me of Your power that lies beyond my grasp. And finally, the prayer of supplication. Ask for help. Because I walk on a beach void of shells, I had time to get lost in my thoughts, struggling with the decision. Help me to make this day productive, purposeful, and full of love. Help me to make the decisions I need to move my project forward, and to remember my desires are not always the best for everyone. Rarely do I let anyone in on the fact that I don't know the answer to something, But since he already knows my struggles, I figured it was worth a shot. Within moments, an answer came in the form of a perfect, beautiful shell lying in my path. It was unbroken and large enough to be considered a prize, but not so big as for me to become completely distracted. The answer formed in my mind, and for some reason I spoke aloud. Help me make the choice that best represents my experience, the one that shares my simplest encounters to someone else who might find joy and learn that you have no expectation when it comes to our love. Your love is unconditional and absolute. It's everywhere, and it's every day. And I stopped to repeat those words, to scorch them into my memory, and a wave crashed at my feet, carrying yet another perfect shell. I love you. Thank you for loving me. Amen. Intercessory prayer. In the book Prayer, Finding Your Heart's True Home, Richard J. Foster writes, if we truly love people, we will desire for them far more than it is within our power to give them, and this will lead us to prayer. Intercession is a way of loving others. It is simply asking God's goodness and power to come into another person's life to provide healing or comfort. Gone are the days when God bless mommy and daddy and will suffice for me. It was a lovely start, but my requests have grown as I've experienced the power of prayer in my own life. It's easy to say, I'll pray for you, but I wonder how many people follow through with those words on another's behalf. I often approach the Father with requests when someone close to me is ill or hurt, and I've started to expand my list to include a few unsuspecting individuals who might not think they are in need. It's only recently that I've thought to reflect on the small miracles that are undoubtedly the result of another person's prayers on my behalf. Thank heaven for those who pray. I try to offer detailed prayers rather than summary prayers to bless everyone. I know God knows everything, but I find keeping someone in my heart easier when I offer a specific request. As I get older, a prayer list in my journal helps me remember details. I also pray for God to reveal ways to help when I can. My answer is often to prepare a meal, but cards, calls, and visits also seem to suffice. Prayer journaling. I love to write, and I have been journaling regularly for some time, but I hadn't considered writing my prayers until I took a class last fall based loosely on the book Let Prayer Change Your Life by Becky Tirabassi. In her book, the author shares her decision to pray for 1 hour a day and the result of her discipline. The benefits she describes are fascinating, but I couldn't imagine spending that much time writing in my journal, knowing I had other responsibilities as well. During the first week of this class, I set a goal of 2 pages of written prayer each day, but I struggled to make it different from the morning pages I was already writing. One day, I was so frustrated with my lack of ability, I set a timer for 1 minute just to empty my mind. As the alarm chimed, notifying me time was up, I reset the timer for 10 minutes. Miraculously, I turned to the pages, and the words flowed. Something about my session being time-bound freed my heart to allow the words to pour forth. I was mid-sentence when the timer went off again, so soon. I've continued to lengthen the time as the months have passed. Who knows? Maybe an hour is within reach. Make a list of people to pray for. And then, how can I pray for you? Thank you for being here with me, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.